It's Saturday, 15th April 2023. Good afternoon. This is Midday Live and my name is Noble Crosby-Annan. In the bulletin this afternoon, the Ghana Boundary Commission warns against removal of international boundary pillars along Ghana-Cote d'Ivoire border. I'll bring you details of that story. Also coming up, pensioner bondholders farm demand payments of all outstanding coupons and principals by the 28th of April 2023. And in international news, gunfire heard in the Sudanese capital as Sudan army and parliamentarians clash. We have details of these stories and a lot more coming to you in the next 60 minutes if you stay with us. Let's start off this afternoon with a story. The Ghana Boundary Commission has warned against the removal of international boundary pillars along the Ghana-Cote d'Ivoire border. The Commission, during a visit to Dolapa in the Bole district of the Savannah region, observed the removal of pillars is as a result of illegal mining activities.
The Dolapa enclave has been actively mined illegally for years. The area has attracted a large number of people, including foreigners. The community does not have any security presence, despite being at the boundary line with no security. Residents called on government to provide them with essential security to protect them from the invasion of armed groups. Residents also called for the provision of potable water supply. The visit to Dolapa by the Ghanaian Boundary Commission was to examine the state of Ghana's international boundary pillars. Major General Emmanuel Kotia is the national coordinator of the Ghana Boundary Commission.
I can happily announce that there have not been any tampering of the pillars since those that were identified in 2021. We are here to make a further assessment of the area and to inform you that very soon we are going to conduct a reaffirmation of the land boundary of our counterparts from Cote d'Ivoire. It's important for the community to cooperate with the various agencies and the Ghana Boundary Commission. We also want to appeal to you to continue to be watchdogs of the boundaries.
Ghana Boundary Commission, he noted, has facilitated the construction of a feeder road along the international boundary line to Dolapa to aid regular inspections of the international boundary line and aid the security agencies and other agencies in their activities. Next month, the Ghanaian Boundary Commission and its Ivorian counterpart will meet to discuss the framework of how to undertake the project. The visit by the Ghana Boundary Commission was in collaboration with the Minerals Commission, Forestry Commission and Geological Survey Authority. The Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Commission, Samuel Tika, warned against illegal mining activities which is affecting the Bui Dam. The Minerals Commission, he noted, will engage the miners on how to regularize their activities.
We from Minerals Commission and government are not ready to take away people's livelihoods. But we have to ensure that the right things are done, to ensure that the people who are working here do what they are doing within the law and they do it responsibly. Because we realize that even the Black Volta, the Bui Dam is being polluted by these activities.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Geological Survey Authority has urged to conduct detailed investigations to determine the extent of mineralization and delineate zones in the areas to be blocked out of community mining.
The Ministry of Finance has set April 28 for the payment of outstanding debt obligation to various bondholders. A press release issued by the Ministry of Finance noted that the date was set during engagement with the Coalition of Individual Bondholders Group and the Pensioners Bondholders Forum. Now, point 2 of the statement from the Finance Ministry read, quote, "The meeting chaired by the Honourable Deputy Minister, Honourable Abnao Sayasari MP, agreed that the Joint Technical Committee constituted on the 18th of January 2023 reconvenes and agrees on a pathway towards the settlement of the outstanding debt obligation by 28th April 2023. But in a statement on Saturday, April 15, the Pensioner Bondholders Forum said no such agreement contained in paragraph 2 of the ministry's press release was reached. Now, the statement from the Pensioner Bondholders Forum added that they have granted the ministry a 1-week extension to the 21st April 2023 deadline in a letter of 30th March 2023 for the payment of all outstanding coupons and principals, bringing the deadline now to 28th April 2023. I'm sure you may have had reusable water bottles while growing up. Well, it is emerging that all along you may have been taking in more than just water because these bottles contain more bacteria than toilet seats. Sarah Penkro has been looking into a latest research by water filter guru of Denver, Colorado.
According to the research, reusable water bottles held an average of 20.8 million CFUs, which estimates the number of living microbes on a sample. Also, on the average, reusable water bottles had 14 times the bacteria of a PET water bowl and 5 times that found on a computer mouse. Of all the water bottle types, those with spout top and screw top lids contained the most bacteria, with 30 million CFUs each, the study found. This may seem far-fetched, but then let's bring it home. From the toddler, the youngster, and adult to the sports fellow, the reusable water bottle has been a companion. Antina has been in the business of selling reusable bottles for years, and she has some concerns with patrons.
Being used to water bottle,
if your child uses water bottle and you can't wash it well, then you are feeding them with germs.
Every week on your
We visited the bacteriology department of the Noguchi Memorial Institute to find out more. Even though the institute is yet to conduct any such research, senior research fellow Dr. Gloria Ivy Mensah explains how these bottles pick up bacteria.
The contamination will likely come from 2 sources. You know, we already have bacteria in our oral cavity. We have what we call normal bacteria that we have in our mouth. There could also be the issue of personal hygiene. So you know the way we handle these water bottles. So if during the day you are carrying this bottle up and down, you climb stairs, you touch the banisters, you know, we touch a lot of things during the day. And then you use your same hands to open the water bottle. And then you touch the edge where you are going to drink the water from. It can introduce some contamination into the water.
According to Dr. Gloria Mensah, using the bottle is not an issue, but there must be a conscious effort at cleaning it the right way.
Ideally, it would be good to sanitize your hands before you open the bottle. Most of us have the illusion that because you have put water in the bottle, you don't necessarily have to wash it when you are reusing it, like the way we wash plates and cups. But you really need to wash it, make sure it is air dried before you use it again. If there's a lot of moisture, it also facilitates growth of bacteria.
Another concern is with persons who reuse the one-time water bottles meant to be disposed of once after use.
They are actually supposed to be single use. That's the main purpose. So if you want to reuse it, you have to treat it the same as you would treat a normal water bottle. Wash it with warm water and then fill it up again. because once you have used it for a day, you have handled it, and you are not sure what you have introduced into the bottle.
It appears everyone has a unique way of handling and cleaning their reusable bottles. So, how do you keep your reusable water bottles clean?
Whenever I'm getting ready to go to the gym, I use hot water to erase it. Just hot water, normal water without soap, and then I just use my water. I pour my water into it and then use it.
Every 3 days, I wash it.
I wash it every 3 days with soap and warm water. When they return from school, I wash it and rinse it with hot water every 3 days. I use one as well as my children, and I always wash it and sanitize with hot water.
For Susan, she would rather be the devil's advocate as she disputes the responses by fellow users of reusable water bottles.
The truth is, we just use water and then shake it like this and pour it away and refill it. Most of the time, that is what we do. Or sanitize it, or boil it, or boil.
So you've heard from the experts, irrespective of your reusable water bottle, like the flip top, just like this one, the straw, the screw top, or the spout top. Depending on how you clean it, you may be consuming more than water. So, be guided. Sarah Apenko, TV3 News, Accra.
Well, if you didn't know, now you know. To some other stories, organized labor is upset. The Ministry of Finance is using the back door to convince pension trustees to accept the domestic debt exchange program. Labor insists government cannot compel them to accept any deal after earlier exempting pension funds from the domestic debt exchange program.
Good Friday, April 7, the Ministry of Finance convened a meeting with the pension fund managers and trustees. In the meeting, government attempted to table a new deal on the domestic debt exchange program for labor. But organized labor says it will not allow government to use pension fund trustees to convince them to accept any new deal. President of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, Eric Njekabonu, cautioned government against using the back door.
When you invite trustees, labor union leaders are members of the various trustees. So when they go to that meeting, they are going to that meeting in the capacity as what? Board trustee members, not as organized labor leadership. So you cannot take their presence at a meeting to conclude that you have had an agreement with organized labor. The government is trying to use the back door to manipulate the various occupational pension schemes to get a certain agreement that would not be in the favor of the Ghanaian worker.
He appealed to government to table a good deal if it wants Labour to reconsider its decision on the domestic debt exchange program.
Labour does not have any official document. I don't have any official document before me, and that any information in the public domain that there is an agreement between Labour and government on the treatment of pension funds, which is different from what we know, that government says that pension funds are exempt from haircut, is not true.
General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, Thomas Musa Tanko, insisted government cannot use their pension funds for the debt exchange program.
The arrangement we have between government and organized labor was that pension funds will not be touched. Period. So like I have said, in industrial relations, good faith is important. And so to the extent that the unions are keeping faith, so should the employers and government keep faith.
He urged members to discount claims in the media that Labour has accepted a new deal with government.
If an individual went there to do some meeting, it could be that the people went there in the name of their individual schemes, but not in the name of organized labor. Because we were all there when we were all part of organized labor when we did the negotiation. So please, the position has not changed, I want to assure our members that, look, we stand where we stood the last time, and the position has not changed, that pension funds should not be touched.
The Defense Minister, Dominic Nitul, has appealed to the Gonja Traditional Council to allocate more lands to the 155 armed regiment residents at Damango for expansion works. According to him, the presence of more military personnel will further enhance the peace and security in the area.
155 Armored Regiment in Damango was established in 2021 as part of the expansion drive of the Ghana Armed Forces. The regiment initially deployed 5 officers and 26 soldiers, but the strength increased exponentially to some 484 soldiers. At a short program to commission a 30-unit accommodation for junior officers, Defense Minister Dominic Nitul reiterated the commitment of government towards the expansion of infrastructure at all garrisons across the country.
We know that adequate and appropriate military accommodation play an important function in the well-being and performance of the military personnel. Government shall therefore continue to explore acceptable ways of mitigating the accommodation challenges of all personnel in all garrisons.
He appealed to traditional authorities to allocate more lands to the military. For his part, Commanding Officer at the 155 Armored Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Philemon Hoffman, lauded the Chief of Defense and Army Staff for seeing to the completion of the project.
It is worth noting that the nature of this ground from the onset seemed impossible to establish a camp of this nature. I must say that the beginning was never easy, but for the fortitude of the Chief of the Army Staff, his leadership role, his vision is now a reality. Today, the camp is operational and the regiment is happy with the works done so far. But like Oliver Twist, we humbly ask for more projects.
The minister, together with his entourage, also paid a courtesy call on the Yagbonra.
Now, the African Cities Research Consortium wants government to adopt a coalitional approach to tackling the inequalities and assessing infrastructure in the major cities in the country. This, they say, will build consensus among different powerful urban actors and ensure continuity of reforms across different political regimes.
The City of Systems study provides an understanding of the interrelated infrastructure systems that facilitate material flows and shape social outcomes in Accra. The study focused on 10 core systems, including water, waste management, energy, transportation, telecommunication, education, and healthcare. Uptake Director of the African Cities Research Consortium, Dr. Martin Atella, says government should see infrastructure development as systems and not silos.
For a long time, development in our cities have been siloed. In other words, housing is not talking to sanitation, sanitation is not talking to infrastructure, infrastructure doesn't know what education is doing. And the challenge is for that to be subverted, so that we think about the cities as systems. Because when your public health system is functional, it's supporting the educational system, it's supporting the road transport, and it's supporting water. That holistic approach gives you a better outcome for thinking about cities like Accra, rather than when everybody is competing and doing their own thing.
Minister of State for the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, Osaibunsu Amwa, was hopeful the implementation of the recommendations of the research will improve people's living conditions.
In spite of the challenges and complexities associated with urbanization, government is committed to leveraging urbanization as a catalyst for sustainable development. And government has remained committed to driving economic growth and industrialization through a series of laudable development interventions in our cities and towns.
Accra is one of the 12 African cities in which the African Cities Research Consortium is engaging community organizations, researchers, practitioners, key state actors, and non-state agencies to co-produce knowledge and evidence to advance urban transformation.
Accra currently, as it stands, per the population status available to us, is over 5.6 million, and it's still increasing. So we have to have a strategy, and this is not only government. Aside what governments will do, we need the NGOs and other donor partners and organizations to focus their attention on Accra, infrastructure development, name it, housing deficits, all manner of things. And then probably to look at how to look at the scheme of Accra again.
The African Cities Research Consortium, ACRC, is a collaborative research program seeking to tackle complex urban development challenges in the continent's rapidly changing societies.
Well, as we develop the urban centers, note this: no certified electrical wiring professional, no meter. That is the caution from the Energy Ministry to households, commercial and industrial facilities. 10 years after the introduction of the Electrical Wiring Regulation LI 2008, the Energy Commission is admonishing facility owners to engage certified professionals.
The Ghana Electrical Wiring Regulations LI 2008 was passed by Parliament in February 2012 with the key objective to certify electrical wiring and installation professionals in the performance of their duties and to ensure safety of lives and property. 10 years after the passage, the certified electrical wiring professionals want the Energy Commission to enforce compliance.
I will call on the Energy Commission to widen their scope of nets to all quarters of malpractices. Your monitoring team must be more and very efficient, and the disciplinary committee as well.
Executive Secretary of the Energy Commission, Engineer Oscar Monuneza, indicated inspectors have been deployed to crack the whip on owners who default.
Owner of the facility will have to engage the services of the certified electrical wiring professional to come and do the wiring. Now, when the wiring is done, they get the certified electrical wiring inspectors to come and inspect the integrity of the wiring that has been done to the facility. So the forms are filled, and now these forms are what is submitted to the distribution utility. And when they see the stamp of both the CEWP and the CEWI on the stamp of the ICC forms, then they go in to give the electrical meters for it to be connected. So basically, if you don't see the forms of these two professionals on the form that they present to the distribution utility, that is electricity, ECG or NETCO, they don't give them the meter to get them communicated.
Deputy Energy Minister Herbert Krapper indicated the ministry's determination to ensure adherence to the law.
Registering pre-certification training schools to facilitate refresher courses for practitioners who have been out of the classroom for a while, to make them abreast with current trends in the electrical wiring industry was a masterstroke indeed, and it is for me a manifestation of the Commission's selfless understanding of institutional collaboration for a greater good.
There are currently more than 14,000 certified electrical wiring professionals in the country.
Rotary Club says it will continue to work on social issues such as girl empowerment and expand their reach to address issues affecting women. District Governor of the Rotary Club Accra, Rich District Victoria Asante, was addressing the 10th District Assembly and Conference in Accra.
The 10th District Assembly and Conference held at the Accra International Conference Centre was attended by representatives from various African countries and the United Kingdom.
An assessment and motivate ourselves for the next year. This year we focused a lot on the environment and on girl empowerment, and so we've done a lot of interventions around that. I've been told by the incoming district governor that next year he'll be focusing on that as well, girl empowerment and a few other things.
Greater Accra Minister Henry Korte urged Ghanaian Rotarians to rally their support behind government's efforts to make Accra a clean place.
Upon assumption of office, I initiated the Let's Make Greater Accra work agenda, which aims at reorienting the citizenry to understand and participate in the process of making the region function as an engine of growth in an environmentally and socially friendly manner. I would like to therefore make a clarion call on all Rotarians, in particular Ghanaian Rotarians, to rally your support behind the efforts of the government.
The Minister of Tourism, Dr. Ibrahim Mohammed Awal, called on the youth to embrace entrepreneurship and mentorship. He added that as a country, we need to add value to our natural mineral.
One critical factor that drives young people to tourism is lack of opportunity, jobs, and income. It is therefore important that as we deliberate here, let's see how we can put opportunities for young people to have jobs. One area that we do in Ghana is entrepreneurship and mentoring. Mentorship, entrepreneurship are very important for us to stem the tide of young people joining terrorist groups in Africa.
Rotary is a non-political organization open to all people regardless of their color, religion, gender, and political preference.
The Boko Senior High School is set to reopen for the second semester academic activities on Monday, April 17. This follows approval of application made to the Upper East Regional Director of Education by the school management.
The Boko Senior High and Boko Technical Schools were closed indefinitely on March 25 following clashes between students from both schools leading to several injuries and destruction of property. The two schools were separated by a road, having fighting each other over the years. After analyzing the latest situation, the Upper East Regional Directorate decided to suspend academic activities in the two schools. Management's board of the Boko Senior High School later appealed to the Regional Education Unit for a review, which was granted. The second semester of academic year for the Boko Senior High School Form 2 and 3 students will now start on Monday, April 17. Per the release, SHS2 first semester examination is scheduled for April 24, while SHS3 WASI registration formalities start on April 27 and ends on April 19, 2023. All SHS3 students are expected to report on Sunday, April 16. In another development, the Butters Buri Educational Endowments Fund, initiated by Dr. John Kingsley Krugu and Comforts Krugu, have set aside 100,000 cedis as seed capital for the fund. The fund is meant for students from the Boko West district of the Upper East region and aimed at alleviating financial to higher education for needy students.
We believe that if you want to seek support, if you want to ask people to put their money into something, you must first demonstrate that by yourself, by showing a good example, by sacrificing yourself. So when you yourself, people can see that you have put in the needed sacrifice, then people will be willing to support.
You're watching Midday Live on TV3. We're live also on all our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. We're live on DSTV channel 279. We're going for a break. We're back with more stories. Stay with us.
Fortune rice, it needs just a little water. The grains don't stick and the aroma and taste are delicious. Fortune rice, always on point, just like mom.
Now introducing Fortune Emupa, your tasty Ghana rice for all your rice meals.
This advert is FDA approved.
Abrantie mi hu fum so bia won ho. I see
Sabrantier, or Catcher and Crawford is a no piano home of line. I was so piaca. Now, I didn't want him to say. Can you put them in now? Or didn't Cheshire that mouth for us? What do you put on? Louis, no, Monsieur can have well. Quick, where's it now? What's out? It's it. What
as I see, anyone did you do any mini major, dear? And what has a memo nipa who near ye? Nay, papa.
Nay, papa.
And it's only probably 20 home appliances in our car farm. This is when you are near me so far so pet. This day, car farm of sorted. But it 1 year man so I could do 65%.
TV can say, Pano boys.
And so, I'm not so too.
Yet, you can say what you feel.
Anyhow.
Yeah. I brought him a be someone who built me catch him in the Kuno. And someone can also to us. I feel way, yet yes, whom by channel. If it's all cancer, I feel from your back. My coffin for so too.
Anyhow. Hello? Kafam. Who must sort to Ponta Pilato, mammy?
Ah. Digitals are yours. Michelle Kofaka from TV Cassian Bremen.
Eh, Ratchet, Mabunya.
Confirm. Assaulting Easter promo. And you're up to 65% off.
We are on a mission promoting access to quality health and education through the power of our media space. Since 2014, we have made great impact. TV3 mission now drives Ghana's quest to break barriers and provide access to inclusive and quality girls' education, together with women's maternal health services. Our mission to address the needs of the socially excluded has won the admiration of many. Indeed, TV3 Mission gets you the results. Mission is live on TV3 News 360 every Saturday and Sunday. Supported by Star Ghana Foundation, with thanks to Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office.
Who wins season 14 of Talented Kids? Is it MFC Dance Camp, Abigail, Rahman, Eloquence, Darkness Models, or Emily? It's the final showdown with the 6 finalists of Talented Kids live from the Accra International Conference Center this Sunday, April 16 at 3 p.m. The playground opens at 12 noon for all game lovers. Our finalists have worked tirelessly to perfect their craft and they are ready to take the stage and give it their all. From mesmerizing dance routines to spellbinding singing performances, incredible modeling moves to word dexterity, there is something for everyone.
But he realized, he realized well and just a How many minutes are laughing under the capacious belly of the enemy?
It's going to be a night of celebration of young talents and an opportunity to witness the stars of tomorrow shine bright today. Performing artists are Dope Nation, Photocopy, and many more. Tickets are selling at a cool 30 Ghana cedis at the front desk of TV3. To vote for your favorite contestant, dial *713*13# or download the TV3 Reality app to vote. Talented Kids, free to play.
Powered by Indomie. Sponsored by Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, Cowbell, Heaven Black Mosquito Coil and Insecticide Spray, Enapa Mackerel, Kiki Juice Drink, Flora Tissues, Top Choco, Coco Plus,
Deluxe Acrylic Paint.
You're welcome back to the broadcast. Now, the Minister for the Interior, Ambrose Derry, has charged new recruits of the Ghana Fire Service to give off their best to save lives and property. The Minister was speaking at the passing out ceremony of the service's course 54 recruits.
1,296 recruits passed out after undergoing 6 months of intensive training in firefighting, accident rescue mission, and basic trauma management. The recruits will augment the staff strength of the service to protect lives and property across the country. However, obsolete equipment used by the service affects their operations. This was evident during a simulation exercise by the recruits. A water hose that was supposed to induce pressure to enable the personnel douse a fire appeared faulty, prolonging time to extinguish the fire. Minister for the Interior, Ambrose Derry, who is also the MP for Nandom, while expressing government commitment to support the security services, urged the recruits to give of their best at all times.
I admonish you recruits to see your current status as a privilege to serve our dear nation, Ghana. I entreat you to accept postings to any part of the country, be team players, and continue to build unity, which remains a driving force in the successful practice of your profession.
Now, private lenders are awaiting documentation on Ghana's debt from the Finance Ministry to consider the portion of their debt that could be restructured. Finance Minister Kenneth Fureta said the lenders acknowledge Ghana's challenges and have expressed willingness to help tackle the situation.
Acknowledgement that we have done considerably well with regard to the domestic debt exchange program. And they are now waiting on receiving all sorts of documentation to enable them give us the proposal. So I think we've started on the right foot, very collaborative, and we expect in the same way in which we engage the Paris Club, that will have an engagement that would result in the country being on a stronger footing, and they also burden sharing like all others.
Now, still in business, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, is predicting a 2.1% increase in the price of petrol at the retail pumps from April 16, 2023, at 2.01%, I beg your pardon. Now, according to COPEC, its forecast is based on the increase in international benchmark pricing and a new performance of the local currency against the dollar.
On the international markets, prices were $772.75 per metric ton to $920 per metric ton, indicating a 16.49% rise. By this, the retail price of petrol works up to 12 cedis 41 pesos per litre. It explained that by this, petrol is expected to be sold at 13 cedis 03 pesos per litre. On the other hand, the price of diesel are expected to drop by 5.58%. This will be a decrease from the current value of 12 cedis 71 pesos per litre to between 11 cedis 40 pesos per litre and 12 cedis 60 pesos per litre. COPEC pointed out that the international price of LPG has slightly increased from $530.10 per metric ton to $535.45 per metric ton, representing 1.01%. By this, LPG is expected to be sold between 10 cedis 90 pesos per kilogram and 12 cedis 04 pesos per kilogram.
Well, the cedi has seen some gains this week, but still maintains the general trend of volatility. Market watchers say the trend may continue until some positive outcome from the creditor committee meeting scheduled for next week moves the market to reduce the demand for the dollar. Courage Butte is a lead researcher with GCB Capital.
This week, I think we saw the market open with some increase in dollar demand. I believe it would have played a big part in the reversal of some of the gains over the last fortnight or so. Yeah, but it's nothing alarming, really. I think it's what we've become used to so far this year, and it will remain like this up and down movement until there's something substantive to anchor the CD's outlook. By the way, the creditor committee for considering government requests for external debt restructuring and financial assurances will meet sometime next week. The hope is that that meeting will conclude in granting Ghana the needed financial assurance. If that so happens, it is a market significant news that could actually cause the city to probably rally again. So we're on the lookout for that. But until then, I guess the movement will be normal on the market.
Now, the Traders Advocacy Group say traders do not have to reduce their prices despite the reduction in inflation rate. The group, however, maintains concerns that policymakers have not done enough to assist trade facilitation in the country. There's more in this report.
Traders Advocacy Group Ghana, in a press release today, have made known the difficulties and capital losses that businesses have been experiencing so far. The group says that many factors influence drop in pricing, and retailers do not need to reduce their prices and run the danger of capital loss because inflation rate is declining. They therefore urge Ghanaian traders to disregard groups that issue orders without taking into account the traders' perspective on the facts that are to be avoided. Traders Advocacy Group Ghana firmly believes Ghanaians could be saved from price hikes and is calling on government to put appropriate policies in place to reduce the cost of doing business in the country.
Away from that, social activist and commentator Kwesi Pratt Jr. says what is happening in Palestine is the worst form of colonialism and apartheid. According to him, Palestinians have the right to live in dignity and on their own land. Kwesi Pratt Jr. was addressing the commemoration of the International Day of Cuts in Accra.
The International Day of Quartz is observed to show solidarity with the people of Palestine fighting to take back their land. The event was attended by ambassadors from Iran and Palestine and the national imam for the Shia community.
In Palestine, if Palestine were Ghana, a Palestinian cannot travel from Accra to Koforidua without permission from the Israeli authorities. You cannot travel from Koforidua to Tamale without the permission of the occupying force. How can we allow this condition to thrive?
Palestinian ambassador to Ghana, Abdel Fattah Ahmed Al-Fastari, called for international condemnation against Israel for their continuous presence on their land.
Not only the Palestinian people believe and have very strong believing with their lands and with their history, all the Muslims people in the world believe that Palestine will be free one day. All the Muslims in the world have very big and strong solidarity with the Palestinian people. And the Israelis, their leaders, believe now more than before that this occupation cannot continue to the end of this life.
Media Lab returns with more stories after the break.
When it comes to the world of sports, what does complete mean to you?
When my team scores at the end of a 30-plus passing sequence, just like Pep Guardiola's style.
When someone beats the buzzer with a shot from the logo, like Steph Curry.
Dominating opponents and punching my waist to a knockout, like Africa's greatest boxer, Azuma Nelson.
Running so fast that I can afford to celebrate midway through a 100-meter race and smash the world record like Usain Bolt.
Hold up, what makes all of these sports complete is the screen. This is where you get access to all the extensive highlights, analysis, and insights.
So do join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. live on 3FM 92.7 as we serve you the best sports buffet and most satisfying in the sports world. The 3 sports team will come together to review, preview, and analyze the latest in the sports world here on Sports Ultras.
We are on a mission promoting access to quality health and education through the power of our media space. Since 2014, we have made great impact. TV3 mission now drives Ghana's quest to break barriers and provide access to inclusive and quality girls' education, together with women's maternal health services. Our mission to address the needs of the socially excluded has won the admiration of many. Indeed, TV3 Mission gets you the results. Mission is live on TV3 News 360 every Saturday and Sunday. Supported by Star Ghana Foundation, with thanks to Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office.
I went to the hospital and I experienced the way the nurse was down there. If I say down there, the nurse didn't have a voice. The nurse didn't have a decision-making power. And the patient and their relatives, some of them, the way they used to talk to the nurse, and even some of the other health professionals, I told myself, no, I'm going to be a nurse with a difference. I am not going to be a nurse that anybody will look down on.
She's one pillar in nursing that every nurse in this country looks up to.
Watch the inspiring stories, great achievements and challenges of outstanding women in Ghana.
Ghana Women Awards Diaries shows Saturdays at 4:30 p.m. on TV3.
The Ghana Women Awards is brought to you by Techno, Stop at Nothing, Tasty Tom, and supported by... Who wins season 14 of Talented Kids? Is it MFC Dance Camp, Abigail, Rahman, Eloquence, Darkness Models, or Emily? It's the final showdown with the 6 finalists of Talented Kids live from the Accra International Conference Center this Sunday, April 16 at 3 p.m. The playground opens at 12 noon for all game lovers. Our finalists have worked tirelessly to perfect their craft and they are ready to take the stage and give it their all. From mesmerizing dance routines to spellbinding singing performances, incredible modeling moves to word dexterity, there is something for everyone.
But in the light, in the rush, where
How
many minerals are laughing under the capacious belly of the earth?
It's going to be a night of celebration of young talents and an opportunity to witness the stars of tomorrow shine bright today. Performing artists are Dope Nation, Photocopy, and many more. Tickets are selling at a cool 30 Ghana cedis at the front desk of TV3. To vote for your favorite contestant, dial *713*13# or download the TV3 Reality app to vote. Talented Kids, free to play.
Powered by Indomie. Sponsored by Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, Cowbell, Heaven Black Mosquito Coil and Insecticide Spray, Enapa Mackerel, Kiki Juice Drink, Flora Tissues, Top Choco, Coco Plus,
Deluxe Acrylic Paint.
It's more than spelling, it's more than science and maths. This quiz combines the knowledge of history, music, STEM, sports, and everything in between. Here are your junior and senior sharks.
So the word is dialectic. Correct for 10 points.
Simplify x raised to the power 9 divided by x raised to the power 4.
X raised to the power 5.
That's correct.
Identify the artiste of the song.
It's the day prize, maybe today prize.
Here we go.
EO.
No.
It is the command central of the nucleus. Very good guess.
Join us for another exciting season of the All-Round Quiz Challenge, endorsed by the Ministry of Education and the Ghana Education Service.
The Sharks Quiz Season 6, premiering on Monday 17th April at 5 p.m. on TV3.
Hello, good afternoon. Let's do sports news now here on Media Live on TV3. Now, in the opening game of March week 26 in the Ghana Premier League, Brekum Chelsea inflicted a 3-0 defeat to defending champions Kumasi Asante Kotoko at the Golden City Park thanks to Kalu Ouattara's brace and a third goal from Patrick Ansu.
The ball behind, here's Collins Amiao. Decent cross by Collins!
Before, plays the ball back. Brilliant control from Amaya. And look at the delivery. Great leap from Kalu. He has the ball beyond the reach of Danlad, and Danlad is beaten beyond measure. Super header.
The cross is on. Another of those decent crosses. And look at this to win again. Oh no! Disaster for Kotoko. Smiles on the faces of their own fans. Chelsea are up by 2.
Again, lovely build up. And when I got the cross in, he was not going to deal with it. It's a dangerous header from Kalu again. We'll look at it from this spot again.
His own player.
Now, some more stories. And a football tournament was organized on the Adjingano AstroTurf to unearth talents for the country's pool. It was watched on by scouts from Europe with the aim of getting them great contracts outside. 3 Sports was there and filed this report. Put together quite a number. The mini football tournaments brought together fledgling clubs from across the capital, clubs that dwell in teaching the game from the grassroots and building a good base of players by teaching the basics. The teams that featured on the Adjingano AstroTurf included Best 11 Football Club, Charity Stars, Intermilas Football Club, Division 1 side, Liberty Professionals, amongst others. Former Star Bucharest midfielder Muniru Sule set this up to find good quality players for clubs in Europe. He was pleased with the level of football the youngsters showcased.
Played before, and they gave me opportunity when I was young. So definitely when I'm in this zone or when I'm in like an agency or wherever, I have to bless the kids too, because it's a generation. When I do the same to them, they'll for sure do to other persons. So that's the way out.
The tournament was in conjunction with the BN Sports Management Group in Belgium, led by its CEO, Brian Asamoah. Asamoah works as a football agent with the primary aim of identifying talent for clubs in Belgium. It is Asamoah's hope that these young boys keep the momentum and kick on until they achieve their dreams.
From now on, we're trying to have a base in Ghana as well. So this is the beginning of it, and we hope to see more in the future. Right. Like you see, talent is there, but we can polish them by technical stuff and coordination and all those things. It's part of the process, and we can help them with that, no problem.
The teams were presented with medals and other sports equipment after the games. Some of the players spoke about their aspirations.
I want to see myself in a top league. I want to play in the Spain league, like La Liga, and I want to play in Barcelona. The next 5 years, I see myself at Real Madrid playing the Champions League. That's a dream. That's my biggest dream. I want to be at the top level playing professional football. For the next 5 years, I'll be in Europe. The team I want to play for is Club Brugge, and Manchester United.
It was a good show of action from these young players, and it is the dream of every one of the people who watch them that these young boys become future stars one day. Right, so that's it there. But also in the English Premier League, just a bit of an update on that for you. Aston Villa taking on Newcastle United at this moment, and Aston Villa leading by 1-0, although they scored a second, but it was ruled offside by VAR after it caught John McGinn offside in there. Oli Watkins scored that goal, but it was cancelled out. The first goal, though, was scored by Jacob Ramsey, who was assisted by Oli Watkins. My name is Yao Ofosulabi, and that's all the sports news this afternoon on Midday Live on TV3. For more sports news, log on to 3news.com/sports.
the entertainment.
You're welcome to the entertainment segment of the bulletin. Well, VGMA Experience concert is happening tonight at the whole sports stadium, and setup is currently underway. Production manager Roland Adum has been telling the entertainment desk what to expect.
I want to find out how prepared we are for tonight's show.
Well, how prepared? We can't be prepared enough. We are, as you can see, we are setting up the stage. The cast, lights, sound, and everything is ready. So we are waiting for the artists. A few of them are in town doing some media tour, going around the radio stations and things. We'll come over, we'll do our sound check. And then I think we are ready, preparing the place for where the audience will be as VIP guests. And just ensuring that our guests will have a very good time when they come. So that's where we are.
All right.
So on a percentage basis, I think we are about 75% ready. In the next 2-3 hours, we should be ready in fire.
All right, so the stage should be set in the next 2-3 hours
in the next
action.
2-3 hours, yes.
All right.
So we are starting quite early with some games and things. We're setting up the games area over there. So by the time they come, sound will be blazing, everything will be on course, and then we will.
All right, so you said from the production manager for the VGMA Experience concert, Mr. Roland Adum, and he tells us that they are more than ready to give the people of Hope, of course, Ghana, a good show tonight. So stay glued to TV3, bringing all the action, the exclusive behind-the-scene action, and all of that. My name is Conceptual Right, representing 3.
Still in entertainment, the 2023 Ghana Party in the Park Festival has been launched. According to the organizers, this year's event would be preceded by a 2-day Ghana Business Expo to showcase the country's rich cultural heritage, music, dance, and fashion.
As Ghana's biggest music festival in the UK, the Ghana Party in the Park has for years displayed Ghanaian music, dance, food and fashion to thousands in the diaspora. Several musical talents including Sarkodie, Jackie, Kelvin Boy, Kofi Kinata and sugarcane crooner Kamido have all thrilled patrons at the annual cultural festival.
One of the things we've sought to do with Party in the Park is to make sure we project, market and sell the rich Ghanaian culture and of course selling Ghana to the rest of the world. We've had our A-list artists and other amazing Ghanaian performers rock the stages of Ghana Party in the Park over the years.
According to organizers, this year's event will be preceded by a 2-day Ghana Business Expo to showcase the country's rich cultural heritage and more.
Because of our agenda to make tourism the #1 contributor, such events will go a long way to help our agenda. We were able to introduce some of the things we have to Ghanaians in London and their Londoners. And we saw the results in December in terms of diasporic tourism.
Headliners for this year's Ghana Party in the Park is expected to be announced in the coming weeks.
And we are happy to be here to let the world know we are back for this year's edition of Ghana Party in the Park and Ghana Expo. This year we are looking at having the event once again in July, 2 days of Expo. That is the 12th and the 13th of July. And Ghana Party in the Park is going to be on Saturday, 15th of July. And we expect everyone to be there in their numbers like they always come every year.
Now, before we go, gunfire and explosions have been heard in the Sudanese capital at a base housing members of the Rapid Support Forces, a paramilitary group. Tensions have increased between the government and the powerful armed group in recent days, with both sides blaming the other for the clashes. Well, that's our package this afternoon. My name is Noble Crosby-Anna. There's more news on our website, 3news.com. For the latest in business, entertainment, sports, and many more, just visit the website, 3news.com. On behalf of the entire production team, thank you so much for watching the program. Good afternoon. Bye-bye.